Tanner Hoops for the Sioux City Musketeers, joined by Musketeer alum Nate Clurman, who received excellent news earlier this week when he was named the 73rd captain in the history of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish hockey program, and he's kind enough to join us this Thursday afternoon. First of all, Nate, congratulations, man. Got to be a huge honor for you.
Yeah, it's a tremendous honor. Coming to Notre Dame was a big decision for me, coming to a school with such great tradition, and getting the honor this year to support my teammates in a way that I think I can do well is a big step. And I think got a lot of excitement building up for this year with all this stuff going on, but it should be a fun year.
Well, a few months ago, we didn't know if there would be a college hockey season, college sports in general. Not only is there going to be one, you're going to be the captain of, like you said, one of the more traditional programs in America. How are you feeling right now as you get ready to start the season as compared to a few months ago?
I'm feeling pretty grateful that we're this close. It didn't seem like it was going to be the case months ago when COVID cases started rising, but our staff and administrators have done a great job getting us back on campus, and we've been able to practice for quite a bit here with safety regulations. So our team's feeling ready to go, but also pretty thankful that we're in the situation we are, and especially being a part of the Big Ten who's taken the step to get us on the road and play some of our games sooner rather than later. We're very appreciative and excited to go.
What are some of the guidelines that you've heard from the Big Ten?
We're going to be implementing testing regularly. I think it's going to be every day once we get into regular season hours. And then as far as travel goes, I'm not sure how that's going to work, but definitely more bus rides, less flight travel. And I think that's just the plans. I mean, we're adjusting day by day and just getting ready to go. So
I tell you what, Nate, Notre Dame is a polarizing sports university as far as athletics go. You either love them or you hate them. I know you and I both love them, but I think even those who would hate them have got to respect them, have that kind of respect for the tradition and the success, the standard it takes to be a Notre Dame student athlete and to be a captain, to be a leader, as someone who excels in all those areas. How special is that for you? If you can't sum up into words or even has it set in now here a couple of days later?
it means a lot to me, but once again, I'm surrounded by such great people here that they're pushing you to be better and you're pushing them to be better all the same. And you're surrounded by a bunch of great athletes and professors and other students. So it's a university that cultivates leaders, and I'm happy to be a part of one of them, but I feel like I'm just a step in a building block here. So it's been a great opportunity, and I'm excited to do something this year with the team.
Two-part question for you, Nate. Coach Jackson, what is it like playing for him? And give me something about him off the ice. Away from hockey, what's he like?
Coach Jackson, he's great for our team. He knows the game better than anyone I've ever been around, and he keeps everyone engaged on what we're doing as a team, structured, and you need to buy in if you want to play under him. And that's how the team's had success in the past and how we continue to have success. I think off the ice, you need to build a relationship with him and show the effort that you're going to put in, and whatever you put in, he's going to give it back to you. And there's no doubt that they're trying to do everything they can in their power to get you to the next level at school here. So if you don't have the effort, you're probably not going to be here in the first place. But it's been a great relationship that I've built with him, and I know everyone on our team feels the same way.
Well, and speaking of getting to the next level, you came here to Sioux City midway through the 2017-18 season, and your time wasn't long in Sioux City. Hopefully it was good for you. What do you remember about your time as a Musketeer?
You're right. I wasn't there for too long near the end of the season, but I actually loved playing at the Tyson Event Center, and I was under Coach Strand there and had a great billet family in my last couple months and made some good friends that I play on a regular basis now. So it was a great experience for me. And I remember talking to Coach Strand, and he gave me some good advice heading into Notre Dame. He had some previous players who played at Notre Dame, and I'm thankful for my time there, and it ended my USHL career on a great note.
Tell me about Coach Strand. What was it like playing for him?
Coach Strand was intense. He had us all on the same page at the end of the season. When I got there, we were trying to make a playoff run, and it was really down in the nitty gritty. So there's not a lot of time for selfish play. And I think he's made it a priority to get guys in that league to play a certain way and show what it takes to get to the next level. And he's very open and honest, which is what you need.
Outside of hockey, when you were in Sioux City, did you have a favorite place to go eat, something that you liked, a local place in Sioux City, or maybe some kind of memory you take away outside of hockey?
I'm thinking about, there's a sushi restaurant. I forget what it was, but we would probably try to go there once a week on the on the river there. I forget the name of it, but that was a spot for us for sure.
Well, tell me about your expectations for yourself, maybe how you've developed as a hockey player since we saw you last in Sioux City, where you are now, and where you hope to be by the time your time at Notre Dame is over.
I think once you get to school and college, you're trying to find your way, depending on what role you're taking or what team you're playing in. And Notre Dame is a very defensive structured team. So over the past couple of years, I've really been trying to refine my game as a defenseman and become dominant in the defensive zone. And as I've gotten more comfortable defending on rushes and getting into the play a little more, I think my next step is to be more comfortable in the offensive zone and maybe contribute a little bit more on the rush and help the team out in that way.
Well, you talked about some of the guys that you met in Sioux City that you went on to play against at the collegiate level. You still keep in touch with some of the guys that you played with here in Sioux City?
Yeah, absolutely. I talked to Luke Johnson quite a bit, who was the captain there, and Parker Ford. And then we've got Bobby Brink, too, a couple of those guys playing at Denver now. So great relationships back in Sioux City.
Well, I tell you that Notre Dame has made some really impressive tournament runs here the last few years, although last year I think didn't end the way that really anybody certainly wanted or was expecting maybe. Does that motivate you guys getting set for this season next month, or have you put it behind you?
It definitely motivates us. We had a lot of time to think about what went wrong last season, and it wasn't as clear cut as you might think. There's issues that come up in different areas with just getting lazy in certain day-to-day opportunities. So I think this year we really got to focus in on what our attitude is at the rink every day, just being prepared to compete at a high level. And with the college schedule, you're not playing as many games, and during the week you got to have high intensity in practice in order to be ready for those super important games, because every game counts just like it does in the USHL. But with only 30 games, you really got to be prepared to bring your best, whether it's in conference or out of conference. So just the right attitude every day at the rink and keeping everyone engaged is going to be the priority.
Well, Nate, people who may not be familiar with the USHL and what it's all about, tell me about the level of competition you see night in and night out and how that's helped you get to where you want to be.
The USHL was a great league. I think I came right out of high school to the USHL, and the pace obviously is a lot quicker, but everyone's more talented and they've got more skill. For defensemen, I think you're playing forwards that are in the D zone who are a little more comfortable with the puck on their stick, and they're making plays with other players, and the depth is much better too. So playing that many games, it really teaches you how to manage yourself when you're living on your own and being ready to play in an environment that's not so comfortable. I think that's a big thing. You're living away from home and with a billet family, and you got to be ready to come to the rink and still just play hockey like any other day. So it's a great opportunity to play in that league and with a bunch of great players, and guys move on all the time. So,
well, we've still got Coach Strand here, and a lot of the guys, the same old cast is still intact. What would be your advice for somebody, a rookie coming to Sioux City? They're going to play for Coach Luke. What would you tell them if you could?
I would say just use your resources there. There's great facility and coaches at your disposal. So the more effort you put in, the more dividends you're going to see later. So just take advantage of what's going on around the rink and the coaches around you, and try to be the best you can be, because when you move on to the next level, everyone's working just as hard as you, if not more. So just a matter of the effort you have.
Now, I got to ask this out of sheer curiosity. What's your relationship like with other Notre Dame athletes, the other captains? I mean, do you all know each other? Are you and Ian Book friends? Tell me about some of your relationship with those guys.
Yeah, once you get here as a freshman, you're constantly surrounded by the other athletes in the summer. So you get some pretty good relationships, and we have some seminars that we're working with them all the time and talk about what's going on in their teams. But it is really cool to be around such other high caliber athletes in different sports that were 5-star, 4-star football recruits or basketball guys, and getting their take on how they manage their teams and faults they've had in their career and how they improve. And we all go through different structures, but we're all in the same structure at Notre Dame and fighting for the same reason and the same logo under the dome. So it's a great opportunity. I'm thankful to be here.
You guys kind of bounce ideas off each other then as captains, how to lead the team, motivate the guys, what have you?
There's been conversations for sure when you have questions that you're unsure of. I think there's been conversations between coaches all the time, and I know our coach has a great relationship with the football coaches and how they manage their players. And when your season's not going well, what are opportunities to improve and what's the message that you're telling your players? But our community is so close here that that information gets spread pretty easily. So no one's ever afraid to reach out and share their thoughts.
Hey, last thing before I let you go, Nate, tell me about quarantine for you. How'd you stay in hockey shape, even though you knew you may not have a season?
I was pretty fortunate. I live out in Colorado with some space, and to get just outside, I think was the biggest thing for me. Just not stay in the house and be able to get up to the mountains a little bit. But as long as you can keep a stick in your hands and stick handle a little bit and maybe find some rollerblades, just being active is the best thing. And it was a tough time for everyone, but we're moving out of it day by day and just got to stay persistent in what we're doing and stay in the moment. So.
Well, perfect. Nate Clurman is a former Sioux City Musketeer, and he has been named Notre Dame's 73rd hockey captain all time a couple of days ago. Congratulations again on that, Nate. We'll be watching. We'll be looking forward to seeing how your year goes. Best of luck.
All right, appreciate it, Tanner. Thanks.
All right, Nate Clurman once again, former Sioux City Musketeer. For Nate and the Musketeers, I'm Tanner Hoops.